What's good, everybody? We are back, but we are kind of back for the first time. We're going to switch up some things today and do a little different, but you still got your same great host. I go by the name of Rip16, the GOAT.
I'm Ty the Jet.
And we are the Mighty No Hedging Podcast duo. As I said, and as I've been alluding to, we've been saying we got some new, exciting, dope things we want to do for y'all. So we switching up the show format a little bit different, you know? But make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe.
Do that.
Talk to us so we can continue to talk back.
Do it now.
Right now. But we got some new things coming our way. But have you already tapped in to this one thing we've been talking about for a little bit this season called Props Made Easy? Props Made Easy is just gonna make your prop tool selection a lot more efficient, I would say. You know, taking into account, is this line too high? Is it too low? We love certain players, but sometimes they juice them up a little too high. And sometimes you might be able to catch somebody for a steal. Props Made Easy is going to pinpoint that for you based upon the matchups that they have going on and give you a consensus data of all the sports books on what's making sense. Are other books valuing this higher, or is this one a little bit lower and it's a good time to catch it? Use Props Made Easy for things like that. Make those prop bets a lot better and get your wins up high, my guy. But yeah. We're still doing one of our favorite segments here, and we're gonna start off with that one, and we're gonna start off with takeaways.
Takeaways, man. Takeaways, week 5 takeaways. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with mine. Caleb Williams. Let's talk about Caleb Williams.
Caleb got a dub.
Number 1 overall pick this year in the draft.
Came and got himself a dub.
Started off a little slow in the season. There was a lot of questions about Caleb and was he going to be an elite quarterback, and was he ready, and blah.
Okay.
And, you know, it just took some time. You know, once the Chicago Bears committed to a run game, once some of their players got back from being injured, you start to see progress. And one thing that I noticed from Caleb Williams has been progress each and every week. He's been getting better each and every week, as I've been alluding to in previous episodes. He's been getting better, and they went out. They played. Who they beat? They played. Who was it this past week? They played the Panthers, and they dominated.
Nobody.
They dominated the Panthers on the road. It was at home, but they dominated the Panthers, which, you know, they're not a great team, as we all know, but nevertheless, they are still a professional NFL team. And Caleb Williams had a good outing that game, 20 of 29, 300 yards, and 2 TDs, no interceptions.
Right.
But the thing that stood out to me about that game is they ran the football. And it's not about the amount of yards. It's about the amount of attempts and carries that you're giving to your running back. That shows a commitment to the run game, which also shows more balance in the offense as well, to open up things and make things a little bit more easier for Caleb. So
Swift having 73 yards and a touchdown definitely opens it up. You know, gives it some validity to the run game, or at least a threat of a run game. Along with the weapons that he has between Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore. And DJ Moore had himself
a day.
I think, I mean, you and I have been talking about that. They need to establish a run game, get some legitimacy going, because, I mean, you can't be one-dimensional. And that's a lot of pressure on a rookie quarterback to sit there in an offense that's one-dimensional. So I think kudos to them doing that, and I think they did what you're supposed to do with a bad team. You're supposed to beat the hell out of them. Credit to the Bears for that. You know, I'm not gonna overjuice it because they played the Panthers, but they did beat the hell out of the Panthers, which is what you're supposed to do if you got a good defense and you have an offense that is improving, I'll say. Do you think Keenan Allen coming back contributed to that anyone?
Yeah, it helps. It always helps. You know, when you have full stock of your receivers, starter receivers on the field,
right?
That, you know, there's not much pressure on DJ Moore, you know, to make when the coverage is all on him, right? You got more single man-to-man coverage,
for sure.
more zone coverage, things along those lines. So that's what opens the game up for everybody. So when you have your receivers back in the mix, it makes it a whole lot easier for the whole team.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like that. One of my takeaways though was how about those Falcons?
What about them?
Coming back in that game, they had a bit of a shootout with Tampa Bay on Thursday night, coming off of a short week. Mm-hmm. The thing that I took away from that though is that they played well in situational football. In the past, the Falcons have not done that. Mm-hmm. That's been the biggest issue. They'll have these leads and blow a lead in situational football. Turnovers, losing the ball at the wrong time. But on this end of the spectrum, it's kind of been the other way around, which is something that I do like that Raheem Morris has, brought to the team and kind of cleaned up a little bit. It's early in the season. I'm not going to go super far to say that it's completely washed away. But it is a huge improvement from what we're seeing, especially coming off of a short week and getting back-to-back division wins in a short week is impressive out of that team. And they came at overtime poised. They showed up. They brought that game back, tied it up. Another cool field goal. He's super clutch. Then you get in overtime and Kirk Cousins out there throwing strikes.
Mm-hmm. My takeaway from that game is where's the defense?
You said now
the team.
Yeah, now I will say it was way too many fucking points scored in that game.
It was too many yards. Kirk Cousins 500 yards and what have you. But where's the defense? There was no defense in that game whatsoever.
Yeah, Birdie from above the rim came out and said no defense.
Yeah.
Because they both put up 30. The Falcons scored that strike to Kadero Hodge and he ran it in for that game sealing touchdown. But the defense, yeah. But it was a division game too. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I know with these division games they come out energized, juiced up, and Tampa Bay's not bad. You know what I'm saying? They have multiple weapons within their own right. But
yeah, I mean the main thing is like you said, situational football. At the end of the regulation, they get down. They had, 12 seconds on the clock or whatever the case may be. They throw a slant route to Drake London, I believe it was. He takes it, gets the first down, puts the ball down. They hurry up and spike the ball with 1 second left in regulation. You know what I mean? Which led to the field goal kick to take him to overtime. And then when you get to overtime, Drake gets hurt. Then next man up mentality. Somebody steps up. Hodge takes a slant to the house. Fresh legs. Everybody else is gassed. Everybody else is tired. And he burns everybody straight up the middle of the field. Very exciting win for Atlanta. Big credit to, we got to put some respect on Kirk Rashawn Cousins' name.
Rashawn.
I mean, he got paid $140 million. A lot of people were not excited with that, but it looks like it's cashing in because he has been leading these
180, right?
180, whatever. It looks like he's been leading these. He's been the reason why the Falcons been winning on these game-winning drives.
Accurate.
At the end of the games.
He's been accurate. He's been passing the ball into some windows. He's got some very pretty passes that are getting a pretty penny on that yard count. Because too many people don't have a 500-yard passing game.
Spreading the ball around to everybody. That's right. Good.
Even Kyle Pitts getting involved, who's kind of been absent.
Everybody got love. Mooney, Pitts, London. It was a full team effort. And
they had a time on fantasy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, love what I saw out of that one. You got another takeaway that you want to talk about?
Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the first game on Sunday, which was the first London game of the season. Jets and the Vikings go over to London. And the Vikings come back from London still undefeated. They come back still undefeated.
I told you. tried to tell
Aaron
you.
Rodgers had a terrible game, threw 3 interceptions.
Yes, he did.
Terrible ones. But they still were kind of close. The game was, it seemed like it should have been worse than what it actually was. Right. The Vikings did struggle a little bit, to take off in that game, because I feel like the Jets had a chance to make something happen to win the game as well.
Correct.
So it wasn't an easy win by the Vikings. They did face a little adversity in that matchup, but in the end, I mean, it seemed like it was a damn Vikings home game in London anyway. So,
hey, look, like I said, I feel like right now, the way that the Vikings have been playing, they've been ULaw. Mm-hmm. Nobody's bitch. Mm-hmm. And the Jets have been off. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's just be honest. We talked about it during week 1 or 2, like the offense was vanilla.
Yeah, the offense is the problem.
It's vanilla. It's plain Jane.
It's plain. Garrett Wilson complained about it. It's just a bad offense.
It got Garrett Wilson contorted.
It's stagnant. It's slow.
We keep on throwing to Lazard.
It's outdated.
We keep on doing it. It's not anything impressive. There's no home runs in there. It's not really utilizing your personnel to its full capability. I just feel like it's just stagnant. Mm-hmm. And it looks a little predictable. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I feel like they have to do something to switch it up. And, well, they did do something. The jury's still out on that, whether or not it's a good thing.
Right.
Which we'll get into more detail about that. But as far as just strictly speaking on the player side of the football, what do you see as problematic with the Jets and good with the Vikings?
Well, I think they need to run the ball, man. I think they haven't been consistent at running the football either. So, I mean, you got 2 stud running backs back there in Breece Hall and Allen. I think by utilizing those 2 guys as a 1-2 punch can help open up some things offensively, especially in the passing game when it comes to that offense. But it needs to be a little bit more creative. The offense needs to be a little bit more creative. Need to see a little bit more motions, a little bit more movement, pre-snap, things like that. But I believe it's not going to change because Aaron Rodgers, right? He's Aaron Rodgers, stuck in his ways. He's a veteran, 40 years old, been in the game a long time. He has his own way of doing things. He wanted Nathaniel Hackett there because that's a guy that who he liked. So I think that's just how it's going to be. I don't think you're going to see any change. And we saw this with Denver when Nathaniel Hackett was at Denver. That offense wasn't good then. So it's the same thing, just in a different area, different team. So I don't see nothing changing unless they change the offensive coordinator and Aaron Rodgers is open to trying something different, which I don't believe he is, because I think he's just so stuck in his ways, especially when you get to that age. You kind of just want to stick to what you know, you know what I mean, and don't want to adjust to it. So that's my thoughts on it.
I mean, yeah, I got you on that. I mean, I definitely think at some point in time you're gonna have to switch it up. I mean, he's stuck in his ways, but he's one of those, elite, top tier, legendary quarterbacks type thing going on. But the thing is, it's like there's so much tape, there's so much footage, there's so much information and data that you have to work off of when you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers. And I don't know if the defenses are these defensive coordinators starting to come up with schemes that seem to be working on Aaron Rodgers for the most part. He's going to throw some pretty passes. He's going to escape some plays. He's going to do what he does as a legendary quarterback. However, it seems like the way the Jets offense is running, they're starting to figure him out a little bit. And the Vikings defense is not bad.
Nah.
So we can't pretend like he just went up against somebody just an easy kill and then they just turned around and lost. He's gone up against some pretty good defenses back to back between the Broncos and the Vikings.
Yeah.
And they did not perform well. And the other takeaway from that is Aaron Jones got hurt in that game. Mm-hmm. and they still weren't able to pull off the W. Because as we know, Aaron Jones makes a huge impact on the team in the running game. Because, I mean, after Aaron Jones, what did Chandler have?
Nothing,
really. Chandler didn't even have much going on rushing.
He had a turnover. He dropped the fumble. He fumbled the ball. He dropped the pitch.
But Justin Jefferson, he has so many pass interference calls called on him. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I lost track. I think it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
To me, stuff like that is problematic with the whole Jets team. And kind of elaborating off of that, maybe we could segue into our next segment, brand new segment that we like to call Besides the Chiefs.
Besides the Chiefs.
Who's a real contender and who's a pretender in these situations? And kind of segueing into that Jets thing, starting off, everybody thought that they would be a legit contender because their defense is so good. However, they just fired their head coach, Robert Saleh. Mm-hmm. And I told you last night, hit you up. I just got off the phone with Ty, had a conversation with him last night. I said, hey, bro, Robert Saleh need to be looking over his shoulder because I don't like it. It's looking ugly over there. They looking a little and I'm like, Robert Saleh, they on your ass. And sure enough,
yeah, they got rid of him.
They got rid of him today, right after. Scroll his ass into the building, and apparently they scroll his ass back out of the building. I forgot the guy who's over it, who's over the decision, but he said, nah, he had enough of it. So what do you make of that? Do you think it was Saleh's fault?
No, I think Saleh's a scapegoat. Head coach is always going to be a scapegoat. I believe Saleh is a decent coach. I'm not going to say he's a great coach. I believe he's a decent coach. He has that defense playing very well. And he's had that defense playing very well for a while. Coming into every season, we saw what he's done with the San Francisco 49ers defenses in the past. Now, same thing that's been going on here with the Jets defense. Good front four, good pressure up front. The problem is the offense. He hasn't had a quarterback. In the last couple years, his quarterback's play has been weak. And it's still weak. It's still not good quarterback play. So we can't put that 100% on Robert Saleh.
But how many times are we going to say that, though?
We're going to say it until they get it right. How
many times are we going to say that, though? The thing is with the Jets, I feel like last year, we gave Robert Saleh, the benefit of the doubt and the out to say, oh, it's Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson can't really do that much.
He can't. Where is he at now?
He's working real limited at the quarterback position. He
was
doing much of shit.
Right.
Okay, I understood that. You have a great defense. He's bringing you something defensively, right? Mm-hmm. This season, starting off, you have Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers is generally considered to be a good quarterback.
Okay. But what has he been doing?
But why?
What has
What's
he been
the
doing?
Game plan?
Has it been okay? So are we going to blame that on the defensive side of the football, or are we going to blame that on the offensive side of the football?
The offense ain't been scoring. The defense has been containing people.
Exactly. So why are we letting go?
But the defense did that last year.
Right. I understand that, and they did that last year with subpar quarterback play, and they still have subpar quarterback play. And I believe the subpar quarterback play is because of the offensive coordinator, Aaron Rodgers.
So you feel like it's the offensive coordinator who's really the problem, not Robert Saleh?
Absolutely. This is the same offensive coordinator that was in Denver years ago, and the Denver offense was trash.
How long has who is it, Hackett?
Yeah, Hackett.
How long has Hackett been with the Jets?
He's been there the same amount of time Aaron Rodgers been there with the Jets. Last year and this year, yes.
Now, were the Jets trash before Aaron Rodgers and Hackett?
Yeah, of course, because of the quarterback play. They had bad quarterbacks. Was Zach Wilson a good quarterback? No.
Here's my thing. If you knew you had bad quarterback play, that means that you need to improve the offense, correct?
Right.
there's a huge improvement that needs to be made to said offense.
Mm-hmm.
Robert Saleh is a defensive guy, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
He's making the defensive play calls.
Mm-hmm.
So was he ever really the right person for the damn job? If your problem is you've had bad quarterback play, now we give you Aaron Rodgers. He's still playing bad. Okay, but you've also switched out the offensive coordinator in the midst of all those fucking bad quarterback plays.
It was not Robert Saleh's decision to hire Nathaniel Hackett. That was part of the deal to get Aaron Rodgers there. Aaron Rodgers wanted Nathaniel Hackett.
And so it's Aaron Rodgers' fault.
That is why Nathaniel Hackett went to Denver, because Denver thought that Aaron Rodgers was going to come to Denver before he ended up going to New Jersey to the Jets.
So is it Aaron Rodgers'
100%.
It's Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett's fault.
100%.
And you don't think Saleh has 100%. No blame?
None. 100%. If you're Aaron Rodgers, you claim to be a great quarterback.
So why
you need to be performing as such.
So why is the defense getting cooked?
The defense been doing well.
Justin Jefferson getting 4 pass interference calls. Why are...
Well, it's kind of hard when you keep putting the defense on the field because your offense can't score points. Your offense can't convert on third down. So you put your defense out there for too many possessions, that's a problem. At some point, your defense is going to do that.
Okay, so with the new head coach being in place now, I don't even know who this guy is.
So what's going to change?
I don't see much changing because I don't know anything about the new coach.
The new coach isn't going to change anything.
I don't know anything.
It's going to be the same
coach.
thing in place. You still got Nathaniel Hackett in place. You still got Aaron Rodgers in place. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be the same exact thing that you've been getting.
But again, does this go all the way back? This shit is deeper than Nino Brown. Okay, it goes all the way up the food chain. Because again, why the hell do you keep hiring people who do not fit your needs? If your offensive problem and you bring Robert Saleh in, who's a defensive guy, he comes in, he creates a good defense, and you say, okay,
back
we
then
don't
they
have
were
a
bad
quarterback.
all around.
We don't have a quarterback. He improved the defense. I'll give Saleh credit for that. He improved the defense
For sure.
Now you bringing in, from what I hear, another defensive coach. And you're saying that the offensive coordinator with Hackett is the problem. Now, Hackett isn't going nowhere as long as Aaron Rodgers is there, according to the rumors that, okay, Aaron Rodgers only coming if Hackett is in charge of the offense. He only staying. So my whole thing is, why, as the Jets, now that you do have a good defense, you go hire another defensive coach instead of getting somebody who's more offensive minded to aid Hackett and possibly improve the damn offense?
Hey, it beats me.
This goes up to the food chain. The Jets just being bad.
They're terrible.
Just being bad.
They're terrible.
The Jets are just bad.
Yeah, for sure. It's terrible.
I mean, so you can sit here and point all the blames to, oh, is it Hackett? Is it Saleh? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it this guy? You doing the fucking Spider-Man meme. Y'all look bad. My whole thing is that's the problem with the damn Jets.
Yeah.
They don't make good decisions.
No, not at all.
They just don't make good decisions. Let's just keep it all the way.
Exactly. And this was
as Cam Newton says, let's keep it all the way.
And this was not a good decision. They fired the wrong guy.
Okay. So who's another possible pretender turned contender turned pretender, I should say.
Contender turned pretender, the Cincinnati Bengals. Oh my God. What kind of shit is going on over there? Man, they go out there. They had it was a dog fight between them and the Ravens, but I believe that was a must-win game for them. Divisional game, first one of the year.
They damn sure needed it.
They needed it. But it's that defense, man. They gave up 41 points. They gave up 41 points.
They gave up all the points.
Gave up 41 points. Another game where the defense is just letting down Joe Burrow. Now, people want to point blame at Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is on the offensive side of the football. They are doing what they're supposed to do.
Points.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. But that defense can't stop a nosebleed.
No, they can't.
And that's where the problem lies. So, can that be fixed? I don't think so. Are they out of the playoffs in general? I still don't think so.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they still have a chance to get in the playoffs.
I'm gonna take my glasses off.
I still think they got a chance to get in the playoffs.
I'm gonna take my glasses off for this. The Bengals are about one loss for me out of it.
About one loss.
They got about one more damn game that they can afford to lose, and their ass is out. And I say that because they're already in a tough division. Right now, the Browns taking a step back in a regression kind of helps them. Mm-hmm. It gives them a capability because they did have multiple teams get into the playoffs. They had 3 last season, right?
Yep.
So that gives them a shot at getting in there. However, my concern is this. Jamar Chase went out there and had a day.
Went off.
Jamar Chase went out there and had a fucking day. Joe Burrow threw for 5 touchdowns. He had 1 interception.
Went off.
But he threw for 5 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. And you still managed to fumble the damn win at the end of the game. Mm-hmm. You even had a Lamar Jackson fumble, a crucial fumble, late in the damn game. Was that overtime he fumbled that motherfucker? Mm-mm. Or was that the end of regulation?
End of regulation.
It was the end of regulation, I think. Fumbles the ball. They get the ball. They go down the field. They miss the kick. The Ravens get the ball back. And ultimately, Derrick Henry ends up running that bitch like deal. Forrest Gump sealed the deal. Mm-hmm. Got him right down there. Easy kick. My thing is this. You're losing situational football. Your offense is giving up your defense is giving up hella yards.
That's the problem.
Your offense is scoring, but it's not meaning anything if the defense is going to give up all those yards.
It's the defense.
So my whole thing is, if there's no type of change or some type of improvement made on defense, they are not even going to be a playoff team. With Joe Burrow healthy, they're still not going to be a playoff team because the defense is playing that bad. You're not supposed to be 1-4 right now.
None.
Nowhere near 1-4. That's making you a real pretender.
But here's the thing, though. They got the Giants next, and I believe they got Cleveland after that. So if they win those 2 games, Giants, Cleveland, that puts them at 3-4. They back in the mix. And then that makes them 1-1 in the division.
But when they play against somebody of significance, which most of their division, I will argue, is significant, with the exception of the Browns at this point, you're going to have a problem because you can't beat them.
They can score.
They can't stop them, though. They haven't stopped any damn body.
I believe they can be able to stop the Steelers because the Steelers' offense is water
because the Steelers don't score a lot.
Yeah, they don't score a lot. So I believe they can stop them. They can outscore the Pittsburgh. We see they can keep up with the Ravens, and we think the Ravens' defense was pretty good. But hell, the Ravens.
Well, it's an APB out on the Ravens' defense
right.
as well.
So we don't know about the Ravens' defense. So if they play them again, who knows? That situation in football can probably change. We'll see. And then, like you said, the Browns. That's already.
But the Ravens have strung together some wins.
Yeah. And so can the Bengals. They can go on a 2-game winning streak right here before the bye. 3-4, and they back in it.
Okay, we're going to see. I mean, I think they're pretenders. Another one that's come up to me for my own personal attention, and I want to ask you about, are the Washington Commanders contenders or pretenders at this point?
Well, at this point, right now, at this moment today, they are number 1 in the division. 4-1.
4-1.
They look like legit contenders right now.
Your quarterback is looking accurate.
77% completion percentage. He's looking really good, and they're winning games, and they are scoring a lot of points on the offensive side of the football.
And they have a running back tandem that they have been running over there with Eckler and Robinson, and then you have McLaurin having some very good games. Jaden Daniels being hella accurate. You got your defense actually managing to get some stops here and there and close some people out.
Well, when you have a team that rarely punted this season, I think they only punted 1 time this season.
They special teams didn't get on the field until like week 4.
Yeah, so when you have an offense that's scoring at a high clip, then your defense is not going to get as exposed as much. We all know Washington defense to be not good in the past, but that's why Dan Quinn is over there. He's over there to assist with that defense, right? Granted, they did play a terrible Cleveland Browns team that everybody knows is awful, right? God awful. But other than that, I mean,
you said the Browns was gonna beat them.
I said what I said, and they didn't do it. So I mean, it is what it is.
And the Browns got the hell beat out of them.
They got
why?
Yep.
Deshaun Watson, 125 yards.
Yeah, he's terrible. It's the offensive line, man. The offensive line is terrible, and they don't run the ball. But we're talking about Washington right now.
Deshaun Watson.
This is all about Washington, and this is all about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is the savior to that Washington Commanders organization. He is putting them in a position to be legit contenders. He's so dynamic, and he's been very accurate with the football. And if he keeps that up, then they will be a legit contender in the playoffs, especially in the NFC.
I mean, they looking like they got a playoff spot now.
Yeah, because the NFC outside of NFC is real shaky
Eagles
right
struggling.
now. Mm-hmm. Cowboys.
The Cowboys struggling.
Mm-hmm.
The Giants got Daniel Jones.
We ain't worried about that. Yeah.
Defense is playing good though.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a legitimate shot.
Yeah, they got a legit shot
at continuing this and winning this division if they stay healthy. You know what I'm saying? And even in the absence of Eckler, they still had Robinson and they put up points. Robinson was a little banged up and they had Eckler and they still put up points. I mean, my whole thing is I feel like they're pretty balanced on offense. Dan Quinn is improving the defense some because they're playing a little bit better in situational football. They beat the hell out of an inferior opponent, but again, this is what you do with an inferior opponent.
You have
beat
to do
the hell out of them.
Yep, you have to.
So 34-13 looks like the mark of a good team. And then the other part of that, just peeling a little nugget out of what you just said. You said they brought in Dan Quinn to help with a bad defense. Mm-hmm. So why in the fuck would the Jets bring in a defensive guy to help with a bad offense? Make that make sense. But, you know, that's neither here nor there, I guess. Are there any other pretenders and contenders out there that you think of?
Buffalo. Buffalo. They are pretenders. They are pretenders. They're not good. They're not good. Their first couple weeks, everybody's riding high on them because they were winning and they were beating nobodies. They were beating scrubs, beating teams that you should beat anyways, right? But when they get in a real situation, like in the game versus Houston and the game versus who they played before Houston, who was it?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. This wide receiver by committee, that ain't the answer. You got Khalil Shakir, he didn't play. Now you're down a receiver who was supposed to be your number one. You're talking about Khalil Shakir, your number one receiver?
I don't think
he's not even top 20 receiver.
I was
in the
about
league.
to say I don't think he should be a number one receiver. I mean, just in my personal opinion,
right.
He's a solid two.
So you got Shakir as a receiver. He's supposed to be your receiver one. Then you got Coleman as another option and a receiver two, rookie. And then you have, Kincaid, who's supposed to probably be your second best option. These are not top 5 players in their position that we're talking about here. So the problem with Buffalo is they don't have a guy to go to outside of Josh Allen when they need it. If it's third down, I need something to happen. Boom. Josh Allen went, 9 for 30?
It was pretty bad.
Or 5 for 30 or something like that. He had like a 30% completion percentage or something crazy like that. Awful. The worst ever.
I mean, I'm with you.
So their offense is not good. They don't have a guy. They're trying to do this receiver by committee. It's not working against elite competition, which shows. Granted, they did battle against Houston, but Houston didn't have a run game, right?
They still over there working with Cam Akers right now, which was my only reason for not picking Houston in that game, because I was like, well, without Joe Mixon, they don't really have a run game. But apparently the Bills are going to make bad decisions late game. Like, what? The play calling at the end of that.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible. They gave that game to Houston.
What the hell was that?
Josh was concussed, and he just ran his own plays.
You just start running some shit. They just start passing.
The play call said I formation, counter to the right. Josh said, okay, shotgun, spread all out, 5 wide, throw it down the field. He was concussed.
On the total opposite shit.
Yeah, he was concussed.
And it was just like, man, these are bad decisions. And they handed Houston the ball with plenty of time for them to go down the field and just casually kick a field goal and win this game. And to me, I was like, yo.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What happened? You inside your own 5.
That was bad play calling.
Throw the ball, incomplete pass. Throw the ball, incomplete pass. Throw the ball, incomplete pass. Houston's not burning any timeouts. The clock is still running. It's not running. Now you punt the ball. You barely punt it to the 50. All they needed to do is complete one pass to get in the field goal range.
James Cook had 82 yards rushing in the game. So, I mean, it's not like he's having a horrible, horrendous day. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't going off. However,
it's situation, bro. Third down.
Situational football.
What they do on third down? What they do on third down? Let's see what they did on third down.
Shit.
Go up. Up. Team stats. Go up. Team stats. Yeah. Third down. 3 or 14 on third down. That's the issue. You got to convert. You can't.
I mean,
that's terrible.
Yes, you got to convert on third down. But, I mean, some of that is play calling.
It's play calling. It's the lack of having a go-to guy on third down. When it's 3rd and 5, I need somebody I know I'm a go-to that's going to catch the rock and convert that. They don't have that. All they have is Josh Allen being the guy to run the ball and get the first down.
Yeah.
There's nobody there that you can legitimately trust, especially when you got Khalil Shakir out. There's nobody there I can really trust to get me that play. Keon Coleman's a rookie. Dalton Kincaid, they probably is, putting coverage on him. And Houston's a good defense. So when you put this Buffalo Bills team up against another team that has more talent, I think we start to see what Buffalo is about. Buffalo's defense isn't that good either. We've seen that now. Multiple games.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that definitely pushes them in the realm of the pretenders at this point, which was kind of they're kind of regressing back to what we originally thought they would be at the beginning of the season. Yeah. They're kind of coming back down to earth a little bit. It's like, oh, okay, these are the guys we kind of expected to see. So, unfortunately for them, I do agree with you on that one. The only other contender is the team that this segment is named after, is besides the Chiefs. The Chiefs are definitely a contender at this point because even with duct tape and glue, they are still managing to put together shit and win these games. They beat the Saints by 13 points. They said, okay, we don't have Rashee Rice. We're going to pretend that it's not his ACL. Let's pull out another tight end.
Let's grab Kareem Hunt from the graveyard.
Let's resurrect Juju Smith-Schuster and make him come out here and start making some plays. Let's run some schemes. Hey, Kelsey, start catching the ball a little bit more. Hell, get creative. Pitch the ball in the middle of it. We've seen that a few times this season. We think you should do it. They just pulling out stuff, and they seem to be putting it together again out of nowhere.
Well, here's the thing. Like, we can give credit to these guys stepping up and all that with the offense, but I think the majority of the credit goes to the defense. Once again, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be riding on this defense this year as well as they did last year. Spags, he's been dialing it up. Always dials it up. Third
Spags'
down.
phone stay on go.
Spags my guy. You know I love me some Spags. You know what I'm saying? So that's the X factor of this Chiefs team right now. Chris Jones taking over the game at the end of the game. Third down, they get off the field. They're always getting off the field on third down, seems like. So the defense. So I think that's the X factor of this team. They're going to continue to do it. Obviously, they're not going to go 16 and 17. They're not going to go undefeated. They're not going to win every single game. But like you said, they're able to win these. They're able to win games with guys from around the way. From guys from LA Fitness, pickup guys. They're able to win these games and make things happen.
I can't say that they aren't going to go undefeated. I don't think they will, but I can't even say it because apparently I scored last night.
They know how to win, man.
You know what I'm saying?
They know how to win.
So my whole thing is, like you said, they picking up guys from LA Fitness in the NFL and they still winning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, credit to Andy Reid, Pat Mahomes, Chris Jones, McDuffie, the Chiefs. It's the reason why we named this segment Beside the Chiefs. Because one thing about it, the Chiefs going to do their big one every time. But. The other one, which we kind of got into it, was Clock Out, Big Dawg.
Yeah, you can go ahead and clock out.
Now we got into it talking about Robert Saleh. Yeah. He clocked out. Is there anybody else that you got on a chopping block who might be a little bit questionable? I know you mentioned the Jets and that whole shit show they had going on, but out of these other teams, are you seeing anybody who you have some concerns for, some guys who might need to be traded, or some coaches that might need to get up out of there?
I think it's time to sit Deshaun Watson down.
Time for you to clock out, Big Dawg.
Time to clock out. I think we've been seeing the same thing for 5 weeks now. Hell, even longer. From last season. We gave him a break. We gave him a break because he has been out of football for a while. Last season we gave him a little break. We're like, okay, let's get some games up under him. Let's see what happens. This season, that leash is short.
Hell yeah,
this season that leash is short. We've seen enough of it. I think
the Browns were a playoff team last season.
Yeah, I think. I think it's time for them to sit down. We need to see something new. We've been seeing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's not changing. So I think we need to make some changes there. So I'm gonna say, sit down. It's time for Deshaun to clock out. He may not need to clock out for the whole entire season, but he just need to clock out for now. We need to go ahead and clock him out.
Okay, I'm with you on that one. Another one that I gotta be honest. Reckless Richardson.
Oh yeah,
Anthony Richardson. I feel like because he's so young, he still has some time to develop, but they need to do something else and adjust his game. Because the way that he's playing, he gonna clock himself out, Big Dawg. You out here running, you took a big hit on the hip. Now you got Joe Flacco in, and honestly, the reason why they lost that game to the Jags was the defense, because Joe Flacco was throwing some dimes. Your boy Pierce went off. He had a hellified game. He even had a long pass that got called back.
So you saying the Colts are better without Richardson?
Yes. Right, the offense, yes.
They were last year too.
They were better with Gardner Minshew in. You're damn near a playoff team. He was in contention now. They was on the verge. Then Joe Flacco come in. You won a game. You had a close battle with a division game, but your defense let you down. It definitely was not the offense's fault. So I'm looking at it, and I'm like, the common denominator is Richardson's not in. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know what you do about that, because I don't think Anthony Richardson is a quarterback that you just completely discard. You know what I'm saying? But it might be time to sit him down for a minute, work on improving his game, work on adjusting his game, and some practice off of the field to get him back right so that he can sit in here and make better decisions and not take off running every 5 minutes. But as of right now, that damn offense works better with Joe Flacco. Yeah, I know Coach said that once he's healthy, they putting Richardson back in. I get it. However, it might be time to clock out.
Yeah. I got one for you.
Who you got?
Justin Fields. It's time to clock out.
What you say?
You lose 2 games in a row.
You lose
You lose to the Colts. Should have won that game.
Yeah.
And you lose to the Cowboys. Should have won that game. You don't score enough points offensively. You don't. You're not making the right reads. You're not making the right throws. Dak Prescott turns the ball over 3 times. And we can't get a victory out of that at home. You score 17 points at home with 3 turnovers from your defense. Your defense is doing the best it can do. You got probably arguably the best pass rusher in the league right now with TJ Watt.
Yeah. For sure.
And we can't get anything, and we can't win these games. Justin Fields, I like Justin Fields. I really do. I want him to succeed, but I think it's time to clock out and let Russ cook.
You think it's time to let Russ cook?
It's time to clock out and let Russ cook.
My problem with Justin Fields clocking out is you're putting in Russell Wilson.
I want to see what we can do. I think Russell Wilson is a better passer than Justin Fields. I think Russell Wilson is a better passer than Justin Fields.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about Russell Wilson cooking is the fire in the kitchen that he left in Denver. He set some Denver kitchens on fire last time they let him cook. So I'm not convinced that he's the best choice and he's your answer to solve the problem with the scoring.
I think it's time for Justin to clock out, man. I think as far as throwing the football, I think Russell is a better deep ball thrower. I think I think Pittsburgh needs some explosive plays. They don't have many explosive plays. They don't get many explosive plays on the offense. This Pittsburgh offense looks the same as it did last year. It's not performing, not producing points. And they're relying on that defense to win games. It's time for Justin Fields to clock out.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I'm gonna say it's I need a little bit more.
I seen enough.
I need a little bit.
I seen
more
enough
for me.
You can't beat Dallas with 3 turnovers at home.
It's the quarterback.
It's the quarterback.
Okay.
Your defense held Dallas to 20 points.
It's the quarterback.
It's the quarterback.
Okay.
You can't beat the Colts. Richardson goes out. Joe Flacco comes in mid-game. Nah, I'm good.
Same Justin Fields that lost to the Colts.
Yeah, I can't do that.
The one that lost off of 3
like
turnovers
Justin.
to Dallas.
He from around the way.
You got a Soldier Boy rant going right now.
I'm good. Justin Fields, time to clock out, bro.
Time to clock out.
Let Russ cook.
All right, man. So after all that, with that being said, we have a new week of football.
New week.
We got a new week. We got good old week 6 of the NFL season in place, and you know, with the new week, new schedule comes new matchups, and it's got to be something on the schedule that these folks should have a good look at and should be thoroughly entertained. What is your must-see TV this week?
These folk got
Must-see TV is going to be Washington and Baltimore. I love watching me some Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. Exciting.
Pause. He's one of the most exciting football players to watch outside of Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Those are 2 players that I love watching the most play on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, any day.
Yeah.
And he's going up against up and coming who might already be here.
He's already
Jaden
one
Daniels.
of those must-see TV players.
Must-see
he's
TV.
quickly becoming that player to watch. Ahead of the votes for Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year for sure. Yeah, I like this matchup a lot. You getting 2 dynamic quarterbacks, one a veteran, one a rookie. Offense that's putting up numbers. You got Derrick Henry coming in and showing why he was needed for that team, because they're starting to hand him the ball in some clutch situations, and he's starting to fucking deliver. The Ravens defense has not been playing great, not at least for the standards that we're used to out of seeing from the Ravens.
Not at all.
So that's a tad bit of a cause for concern in this game for me. But I definitely agree that it's a must-watch game. Honestly, the Ravens have managed to start stringing together some wins in situational footballs. They had a little bit of a blessing with that missed kick from the Bengals, but they managed to put together. The football guys are blessing them. So, in this matchup,
look at this. Wow. Number 1 offense versus number 3 offense. Number 1 rushing team in the Ravens versus the number 2 rushing team in the Commanders.
Told you they got a nice tandem going.
Oh man, we got a good show here.
We got a football game.
Yeah.
Which side you leaning to for this win though?
I think I'm gonna go with the experienced Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson, especially being at home. It's gonna be exciting to watch. I think the Ravens got the edge in this game, especially when you got Lamar Jackson at the helm. That was a divisional game that they kind of snuck through and got a dub in. It was a tough one, but I think this one we'll really see what this Commanders defense is about. We'll really see how well they've been improving going against this dynamic team. And then this like I always bring up, it's a crazy stat with Lamar Jackson versus these NFC teams. He's like 21-1 versus NFC teams. NFC teams don't know, they can't beat them. They just can't beat them. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the edge to the Ravens, man. The Ravens are tough. They're a tough team to beat, and I think they got some juice right now.
Okay, I'm gonna agree with you on this one. I'm gonna go with the Ravens to win this game, even though I absolutely love what the Washington Commanders are putting together over there. I just feel like the difference is gonna come down to that defensive play situationally late in the game. Mm-hmm. I feel like I trust the Ravens a little bit more in a situational football type situation, and being able to manage the clock with Derrick Henry, because he can run the ball and do it consistently, and Lamar Jackson can also take off scrambling. I feel like Derrick Henry, his ability and his output should be able to handle whatever the defense can really throw at them, and being able to manage the clock. They pretty much have the same issue on both sides for both teams as far as the quarterback thing goes, because Jaden Daniels can take off too. But I think that run game and the defense in situational football is going to tip a little bit into the Ravens' favor, and I think that's the deciding factor in this game. I don't think it's a blowout, though. What's the spread on that game?
6.5 in favor of the Ravens.
I don't like that spread.
I don't know. Like I said, NFC teams, bro, them Ravens, man, they get them.
The Ravens do get them. They do. But, yeah. Is there another game which you feel like is must-see TV for this week?
Must-see TV. Looking at the Arizona Cardinals and the San Francisco 49ers. I think the 49ers are on watch.
That was the last one. Well, the Arizona Cardinals just beat the 49ers.
Well, I mean, the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers. My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, the Seattle Seahawks and the 49ers.
Yeah. That's
49ers on watch.
Yeah.
They on watch. Seems like they can't get nothing going without Christian McCaffrey in that backfield.
They had Jordan Mason doing a lot of rushing damage for a large part of the season. But he's no
Christian McCaffrey.
I mean, who is?
He's no Christian McCaffrey. You know what I mean? So I think that 49ers team, they're on watch. I think this is a must-win for 49ers. Seattle and 49ers coming off a loss. This is a divisional game right here, divisional matchup. Seattle just lost to the Giants at home, which they should have won. They played awful. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going. Defensively, they couldn't really do much as well. So it wasn't a good showing for Seattle, especially being at home. So I think this is going to be a must-see TV game, especially on primetime, divisional game, to see what's going on with both of these teams. We need to see what's up with this 49ers team. They haven't been playing well. Outside of that dominant performance against the Patriots weeks ago, they just haven't been the same team that we're used to seeing. But they, had a couple injuries on the defensive end. But this will be a good game right here to see what's going on with both of these teams here.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like the 49ers at full strength should be able to play better. I don't know if, well, I'm pretty sure the Warner injury kind of.
Oh, it matters.
It mattered a lot. It mattered a lot in that Cardinals game because Warner's out there. I don't think the Cardinals make some of those plays. I don't think Kyler Murray gets as far. I mean, as he did rushing.
Yeah, we got to put some respect on Fred Warner now.
So Fred
Warner, Hall of
Warner
Famer playing right now.
Yeah, for sure. And Fred Warner's absence kind of makes this game a little bit scary because I don't know if he's going to be back.
Sure.
I don't know if he's going to be back. So if he's out again, I'm kind of leaning towards taking the Seahawks in this game. Seahawks at home, no Fred Warner. They can still put up points. Charvarius Ward, he's one of them players who kind of is a bit of a roller coaster because he might show up as soon as you get pissed off at him, then he comes and makes a fucking game-saving interception or something. But then in the other weeks, he's getting cooked. And I'm like, I don't know. Is DK Metcalf about to cook him? Is Lockett going to tear them up with slants going across the middle of the field? Like, I don't know what to expect sometimes out of that secondary. But I think Fred Warner kind of glues it together and makes some reads and definitely is a blanket. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards the Seattle in this game. I don't know.
I'm going to lean toward the 49ers, man.
Okay.
I have to lean 49ers on this one. I don't think they're going to go down 3 in a row. Well, was it 3 in a row? 2 in a row. I don't think
2 in a row.
Yeah, I don't think they lose this week.
Okay.
They're at home.
They got to win this game, though. It's a division game.
They have to.
They got to win this game. But
they can't lose 2 division games back to back. They just can't do it. They won't do
it. Okay. So I mean, since we talking about teams that can't do this, can't do that, I think we should go ahead and get into the best bets.
Best bet. Pull up the screen. Pull up the board.
So since you say they can't do it, they can't lose. Who do you think is your best bet and your favorite to cover these spreads and win these games? Then
I'm gonna start in the NFC South, man. We got another divisional game here, and maybe you can sprinkle your thoughts on that as well. The Atlanta Falcons going on the road to Carolina, and
the Atlanta Falcons about to get their 3rd division game.
Yeah, they might. They are. They might. This is one. See, here y'all go. Falcons fans always do that.
No.
Y'all had the same energy last year. Oh, we're gonna beat Carolina, and they end up beating y'all. I don't care how many points it was. Field goal don't matter.
But look,
simmer down.
Simmer
down. Don't get too confident. Don't wrap me up. Don't get too confident.
Don't wrap me up.
This is what y'all do. Y'all win a couple games. Y'all get fully yourself, and this is the letdown game. So be careful. Be careful. So I'm gonna take the Carolina Panthers on the road. I think they're favored by 6 points. The Falcons are favored by 6 points. I'm gonna take the underdog Carolina Panthers plus 6. They're at home. They're coming off of a terrible loss to the Chicago Bears. I understand Atlanta is good. We understand they're a good team. But as far as covering the spread, the Atlanta Falcons, they haven't been winning these games by 2 possessions. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of these games have been close wins. So this is one of those spots where it's going to be a closer game than we anticipate. Atlanta's on the road for the 2nd time this season. Most of their games been home games. Yeah, they won a road game against Philly. Okay, great. But that was a close win as well. Last win, overtime, right? So these games, hell, the game against the Saints, close game, win by a field goal. So a lot of these games, especially in division, have been very close. So I'm going to take Carolina Panthers to cover, plus 6. That's my first one.
Let me explain something to you about the Carolina Panthers, right?
Andy, the Red Rifle, Dalton.
The problem isn't Dalton.
And then Chuba Hubbard been coming on too now.
Chuba Hubbard has been coming on. He's been having himself some very good days out here. So I'm not going to discredit what Chuba Hubbard has done and what they do. However, here's my problem.
Falcons don't get no sacks.
Here's my problem. They can against the goddamn Panthers. My problem is this. You're also discrediting the fact that the hard part of the Falcons' schedule is the front end of the schedule. Mm-hmm. We lost to the Steelers with a number 1 defense. Mm-hmm. Kirk Cousins coming in after not playing in preseason, not being warmed up.
I understand that.
Then you went out here and you win against the Eagles. You go out there, you lose against the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. In a close one. Mm-hmm. Then you come out and get back-to-back W's in close division games. Mm-hmm. The teams that they just beat in situational football are better than the Panthers. Mm-hmm. The Panthers just went out here and got their ass blown out by the Chicago Bears, mm-hmm. who they're still developing. They have a good defense, but they also lost to a Bengals whose defense who has been non-existent. They put up some numbers on them. But do you think that defense is better than the Falcons' defense? Fuck no. Mm-hmm. I think the Falcons' defense is good enough to stop the goddamn Panthers.
Okay.
Enough. Now, they did have some shootouts with the Saints, who are our arch enemy. They did have a shootout with the Buccaneers, who I feel like is their best contender for winning the division. The Buccaneers are not a bad team. Mm-hmm. The Panthers are a bad team. I'm not. I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. Mm-hmm. I like the Falcons to actually cover the 6 in this one. Just because Carolina, and I'm not gassing up. I'm gassing it off of the play. I don't give a damn what they did last season. We didn't have a quarterback last season.
Okay.
We did not have. We had Desmond Ridder.
Okay.
We had Desmond Ridder. Let's be real.
You did. My next one. So that's my first one. Carolina +6. My next one is going to be Detroit -3 at Dallas. Detroit -3 at Dallas. I think.
Now that one I like.
Dallas was in the dog fight with the Steelers. They didn't play very well. I think Detroit's defense is pretty good.
Run defense.
Offensively, anyway. I think Detroit is going to be able to put up some points against this Dallas defense. I mean, you got Thunder and Lightning, Monty and Jahmyr Gibbs coming at you, running that football. Granted, Dallas defense did play well against the run when they played Pittsburgh. But that's Pittsburgh. They ain't afraid of Pittsburgh. They ain't afraid of Justin Fields playing quarterback.
They're not afraid of the Pittsburgh offense.
Yeah, they're not afraid of the Pittsburgh offense. I don't think nobody.
Detroit's offense has something to be
right. So you have to be. It's so many different things you have to look out for. Play action. Detroit loves to run that play action. Bootlegs, stuff like that. So they have to appeal. They have to be on their P's and Q's when it comes to that. I think Detroit scores enough points. I think Detroit wins this game, and I think they cover the -3. And then my last one would be Denver +3 at home versus the Chargers. Chargers, they're coming off a bye week. We understand that, but Denver's been on the roll, man. 3 games in a row. Defense been playing very well. Bo Nick's been playing okay. Sean Payton said he gotta get a little Ferris Bueller out of him. Yeah, he gotta get a little Ferris Bueller out of him. But I like how the Denver Broncos been playing. They've been very balanced offensively. They've been running the football. Bo Nix, he's been okay.
He's developing.
Yeah, he's been okay. Winning road games, things of that nature. But that defense has been the story for the Broncos. So
didn't they have like 100-yard pick?
Yep, Pat Surtain, 100-yard pick 6. Beautiful. He had 2 interceptions that game as well. So I like Denver as to cover +3 against the Chargers, and I think that's gonna be my best bets. Carolina +6, Detroit -3, Denver +3. Yeah, boy. What you got, son?
I hated that Carolina pick. But the Denver I get. The Detroit I definitely get. Mine's I'm looking at Green Bay -5 is one of my best bets. Green Bay against these Arizona Cardinals, right? They managed to put something together against a 49ers team, and they won by 1 point. But that 49ers team was a little bit hobbled without Fred Warner, as we discussed. So without Fred Warner on that defense, they did what you're supposed to do. But I feel like the Green Bay Packers corners are serviceable, especially once they get Jair Alexander back. They're going to be even better. But they do have what's my guy? That's the cornerback over there in Green Bay. He's been locking down on one side too. But they have somebody who they can put on Marvin Harrison to at least contain him, so that he's not going out here and running amok. I think. But Jordan loves throw touchdowns, man. Jordan loves throw some strikes. He damn near had more touchdowns than he really had at the end of the game because he threw a couple and got all the way down there inside of the goal line, inside of the 5, and they got tackled. But my biggest concern is I need to know what the injury status of Aaron Jones is in this one because that's definitely going to have a huge impact on the run game. But Jordan Love throws strikes, man. And I feel like he's going to be able to throw enough strikes against the Arizona Cardinals for them to win that game by 5. Especially at home in Lambeau. Next one I like is the Houston Texans -7. Houston Texans playing against the Patriots. Do I need to give an explanation on that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, the Texans, Joe Mixon, no Mixon, Yo Mixon, Sir Mix-a-Lot. It don't matter. The Patriots just don't have it. They just don't have enough.
They're the worst team in the league, man. They don't have enough talent.
They don't have enough talent.
Yeah.
They just don't have enough talent to sit there and deal with Houston. And Houston is inched by in a couple wins. I think this is a good confidence booster for them if they can come out here and really beat the hell out of the Patriots. I think that'll do something for their confidence. Hopefully, they have a good coach. I think D'Amico will, make sure they on point. Give me Houston -7. I don't give a damn if they playing in Texas. And that's a road game for them. And I still think it's gonna feel like a home game. And the last one for me, I'm going. Well, no, I take the Falcons -6. So we got the Falcons -6, Green Bay -5, Houston -7. Those are my 3 best bets for this week. Man.
Okay,
that's what I'm liking the most for sure.
Sounds good, bro.
But
except for Atlanta.
but these folks still gotta know. Who's your dog of the week, though?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Denver, man. I love me a nice home dog.
You like a good home dog.
I like a good home dog, man.
You hadn't took too many home dogs.
Not this season. No, not this season. But I think this is a good spot. I think it's a good spot for Denver, man. At home defense playing very well. Bo Nix is playing very well. I think him and Sean Payton, they got something going. They're cooking up some going up there in Denver, running the ball well. So give me Denver Broncos at home, man. Underdog, money line. Take it. Take it.
Just out of curiosity, what's your record with these dogs so far this season?
Underdogs, we are.
What did you do last week? It
8
didn't
and
go
7.
good.
No, underdogs, we 2-3. 2-3 with the underdogs.
2-3 with underdogs so far.
8 and 7.
You
on
had the
BestBets.
Jets last week.
Yeah,
the Jets fucked
Jets.
the goddamn Jets. The goddamn Colts I had, and the Colts defense.
The goddamn Jets.
The Colts were this close. But this week, I'm going to go with a different dog. I'm going to actually hop on the dog that beat my last dog. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars playing in Tottenham, London.
I hate them playing in London now, man. They always playing that Carolina. I'm over that shit now, bro. This shit whack now. Stop putting that in the production and stop showing that. That shit's whack. It's corny.
I mean, I feel like London has so much more to offer. Put on some Central C or
Sweet Caroline.
We want to rappers that rock like this.
That's
corny.
Corny.
But yeah, I'm gonna take the Jacksonville Jaguars because the simple fact of London is like a home game for them. I will argue that the Jacksonville Jaguars play better in London than they do in Jacksonville. And coming off of a big win on Trevor Lawrence's birthday, division win, now they got to turn around. They got to go back out to London, and I just feel like the Bears. They came off of a nice win for them, but I mean, I feel like the Bears are still putting it together.
Bears, they rolling. They rolling.
Oh no,
Caleb.
I don't know if I can bear down against
Caleb.
To me, I feel like Jacksonville and London is just something special about that for them. But I do think the way that they played last weekend,
They ran the ball.
They ran the ball well, which helps your offense a lot. So I just feel like they've run the ball well again.
Tank Bigsby going crazy.
Bixby went crazy. Now the Bears defense is better, but Kirk caught some bombs down the field too. I feel like they just put together a nice game
Brian
plan.
Thomas went off too.
Yeah. And I don't know if Ingram's coming back yet this
Who
game.
cares?
But he might. That'll add on another boost.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just feel like they have enough offensively for them to be a good dog in this fight. They the underdog, but I ain't convinced. I think they might win against the Bears on this one.
I doubt it, but I got you.
Hey, man, with all that being said, man, that's been the rundown. Make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe.
Do it now. Do it
Do
now.
it right now. Tap into that props made easy, man. It's gonna be some prop alerts. I'm gonna throw some up. I'm gonna throw some up for y'all this week. Make sure y'all go tap into our Instagram, No Hedging Podcast. Anything else you want to lead the people with, man?
Hey, man. Parlays.
Making money line plays.
Hey, man, appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys for listening and subscribing. And we'll see you next week, man, for the rundown. Peace. God damn.